two seminal moments in my life that I remember clearly. One, my father as a farmer, and the way he looked at what he did when he would sow a paddock of wheat and then after it had germinated, just to see the look on his eyes as he stepped back to admire the work that he had done. I knew I wanted what he had. I knew I didn't want to be a farmer. The second moment in my life, I was working for a corporate. I was a senior manager. Probably have been promoted beyond my abilities because I was a terribly ambitious person. I had an epiphany that I didn't want to be a manager. And there was a confluence of things that happened at that point. One, I thought, I don't want to be a manager. I was managing too many people that I didn't get to know. And in my work, getting to know people is important. The second thing is that one of the directors responsible for our area had taken a job looking after people in career transition within the organisation. Now for him that was a step down. But when I went over to speak to him about what he did, I was enamoured with his posture in his work. He really loved his work. And he'd bought himself a Harley Davidson. So I felt that man was a great role model for how I could make decisions about my career. Upon observing what he was doing in his work, I left and pursued my career as a coach. Yeah, I think one of the best things in my career was that in my earliest days, I had some of my more informative clients who really shaped the way I looked at career development. So 6 months into the job, there were two pharmaceutical companies merging. The younger of the two marketing directors didn't get the job. He was a little devastated by that. But once I'd taken him through his narrative, his story about his life, I discovered that his points of joy were really quite simple. It was when he was sailing on Sydney Harbour. He was a member of a yacht club. And in an ideal world, he felt that if he didn't have to work, he would sail. I was reminded also of what Tolstoy had said, that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So we had a different conversation. The upshot of this was that he ended up delivering yachts from the east coast of America to the west coast of Europe. They needed a good marketing manager. They needed someone who could communicate with high net worth clients. I think what makes a good career coach is someone who can maintain detachment whilst being curious. Great career coaches also provide a framework for a client in which to operate. They provide them with tools that help them explore who they are. A particular approach I like is the narrative. Many of my colleagues who work with me in this business also want to explore not just how a person feels about what they do, but why they do what they do. So what's the purpose and meaning they derive from their work?